The alien station floated far from any planet, quiet and shining against the dark of space. It was built as a place of learning. Many species came here to train together, to test strength, skill, and mind. The station was famous across nearby systems. It was also known for one thing more. It was a place where humans were not taken seriously. Most alien species believed humans were weak. They had seen Earth reports. Small bodies, soft skin, no claws, no natural armor. Humans came from a world with strong gravity, and the aliens believed that meant humans were slow and fragile. To them, humans survived only because of machines and luck. On this day, a new group arrived. A human ship docked at the station. It was not large or impressive. It did not shine with strange lights. It was plain and solid. The doors opened, and 6 humans walked out. They moved in a calm way. At the front was a man named Adam. He was not tall by alien standards. His hair was dark. His face was quiet and serious. He wore a simple uniform with no bright marks. Behind him walked 5 others. 2 engineers, 1 medic, 1 pilot, 1 systems officer. They did not look afraid. Across the hall, several aliens watched them. One was tall and thin, with long arms and smooth blue skin. His name was Tal. He was an officer of the station. Beside him stood Riel, a training supervisor with wide eyes and a stiff posture. Around them were other species, some with many legs, some with heavy shells, some floating slightly above the floor using weak gravity fields. Riel made a low sound that meant amusement. "So these are the humans," he said. "Ah, they look smaller than I expected." Tal did not answer at once. He studied Adam carefully. "They come from high gravity," Tal said. "Do not judge too fast." "High gravity makes them weak," he replied. "Their bodies must waste energy just to stand. They will fail the tests." Adam stopped a short distance away. He looked at Tal and Riel. He nodded once. "We are here to train," Adam said. His voice was calm and even. "We follow station rules." Riel smiled in a way that was not friendly. "Of course," Riel said. "Training begins today." The gravity test chamber was deep inside the station. It was a large round room with dark walls and a smooth floor. Gravity controls lined the walls, managed from a sealed control booth above. Many species stood inside the chamber. Some stretched their limbs. Some adjusted suits. The humans stood together near the center. Alien voices filled the room. "This test measures endurance," Riel announced through the speakers. "Gravity will increase in stages. Those who fall or request release will be removed." Adam looked at his team. "Slow breaths," he said quietly. "Same as training." The test began. Gravity increased slightly. For humans, it felt normal. For some aliens, it was already heavy. A floating species slowly dropped to the floor and moved away in embarrassment. Riel watched from above, pleased. "Just the start," he said. Gravity increased again. A 4-legged alien with a heavy shell stumbled. Another with thin legs sat down quickly and signaled for removal. The humans adjusted their stance, feet firm, backs straight. Alien laughter echoed through the chamber. "Look at them," someone said. "They will fall soon." Adam did not react. His eyes stayed forward. His breathing was steady. The gravity climbed higher. Now even strong alien species felt pressure. Joints shook. Breathing became hard. Some aliens dropped to one knee. Sweat formed on strange skins. The humans still stood. Rill leaned closer to the glass of the control booth. "How are they still standing?" he asked. Tal watched in silence. His expression had changed. Rill said, "A warning light blinked on one panel. That level is close to safety limits," a technician said. Rill made a sharp sound. "They are humans," he replied. "They can handle it." The floor felt like it was pulling everything down with cruel strength. Several aliens collapsed fully now. Some cried out in pain. Emergency teams moved in to pull them away. The humans bent their knees slightly. One engineer placed a hand on the floor for balance, then stood again. Adam took one slow step forward. "This is enough," he said, loud enough for the speakers to catch. "Others are being hurt." Reel ignored him. "Interesting," Reel said. "Let us see how far humans can go." He increased gravity once more. This time, the chamber shook. Alarms sounded. A deep vibration passed through the walls. Panels flickered. The gravity did not stop increasing. "Control failure," a technician shouted. "System not responding." Tal stepped forward. "Reduce gravity now," he ordered. Manual override needed. Inside the chamber, the situation became dangerous. Aliens who were still standing dropped hard to the floor. Bones cracked. Breathing became painful. The pressure was crushing. The humans felt it too now. Muscles burned. Lungs worked harder. But they did not fall. Adam looked around. He saw aliens struggling, some unable to move at all. "We help?" he said. Lucas, the medic, crawled toward a fallen alien. Every movement felt like lifting heavy metal. He reached Rill's assistant, who was gasping, eyes wide with fear. "I've got you," Lucas said, though he knew the alien might not understand the words. He lifted the alien's arm and dragged him slowly toward the edge of the chamber. Nora, the pilot, braced herself against the wall and helped another human engineer lift a heavy support crate that had fallen. They pushed it aside to clear a path. Aliens watched in shock. The beings they thought were weak were moving. They were lifting weight under crushing force. They were helping others while standing in gravity that was hurting everyone else. Above, Tal stared at the scene. "They are not falling," he said quietly. "No," the technician replied. "They are adapting." Inside the chamber, Adam reached an alien named Reel, who had been brought down from the booth by emergency systems when gravity spiked. Reel lay on the floor, unable to move, fear clear in his eyes. Adam knelt, his muscles shaking. "Stay still," Adam said. "We will get you out." Owl tried to speak, but the weight pressed the air from his lungs. Adam signaled to his team. Together they formed a slow line, passing injured aliens toward the exit as rescue doors opened briefly, fighting against gravity to stay open. The chamber groaned. Cracks formed along one wall. Tal grabbed the communicator. "If gravity reaches maximum," he said, voice tight, "the station frame will fail." Adam heard the warning through the speakers. "How long?" he asked. "Minutes," Tal replied. Adam looked at the humans around him. Sweat covered their faces. Their bodies trembled with effort. "We keep moving," Adam said. "No one stays behind." Another wave of gravity hit. The lights dimmed. Somewhere deep in the station, metal screamed under pressure. And still, the humans did not fall. The test meant to shame them had become something else entirely. Something the station had never seen before. And the worst was yet to come. The station trembled as gravity pressed down like a heavy hammer. Metal groaned in the walls. Lights flickered, and alarms screamed across the chambers. Aliens struggled to move. Some could not breathe. Some cried out in pain. It was a crisis unlike anything they had ever faced. Humans moved carefully, but they moved. Adam kept his voice calm. Stay together. Help anyone who cannot move. Lucas, the medic, crawled through the thick air to reach an alien with gray skin and many eyes. The alien was shaking, unable to lift its heavy body. "Hold still," Lucas said. He used every ounce of strength to lift and drag the alien toward a small exit that opened just a little. The pressure made every movement feel like pushing through stone. Nora helped another human lift a fallen support crate. Its metal groaned, almost bending under gravity. She gritted her teeth. The crate moved just enough to clear a path. Behind her, the other humans formed a line, helping aliens and supporting each other. Tal, the tall officer, stood near a panel that was supposed to control gravity. He tried pressing buttons, but the system refused. Sparks shot from one console. "Manual override needed," the technician shouted. "The system will not respond to automatic control." "Then someone must go inside," Tal said. His voice was tense. "Before the station is destroyed." Adam glanced at the humans. "We can do this. We know how gravity works. It is dangerous, but we can move faster than machines can. We will try." The aliens stared. Some were terrified. Some could not believe the humans were still standing. The humans seemed calm, even as the walls shook and floors threatened to crack. Adam pointed to a narrow passage that led to the core control room. "We go there. Lucas, take the injured. Nora, help me push the debris." Everyone else cleared the exits. The team moved like a single organism. Every step required careful balance. Gravity pulled them down with a force that made lungs ache and bones strain. Yet they moved steadily, faster than anyone thought possible. An injured alien tried to crawl away from the pressure. Lucas reached it and lifted it slowly. The alien's limbs were heavy and weak. Sweat covered Lucas, but he never paused. The humans were strong, but not because of technology. They were strong because their bodies were built for endurance. Tal watched, and for the first time he felt fear. These humans were not just standing. They were helping others survive. They were moving with a power he did not understand. The station, which had always taught strength and skill, now witnessed humans showing endurance far beyond anything aliens had seen. The passage was narrow. Debris blocked the way. Nora pushed against a metal panel that had fallen. It groaned, bent, and seemed ready to collapse. She gritted her teeth and pushed with her full strength. Slowly, it moved just enough to create a small gap. Adam stepped through first. Behind him, the others followed, carrying aliens and clearing smaller debris as they went. Every step was dangerous. One false move, and the wall could crush them. One misstep and the ceiling might collapse. The core control room was ahead. It was circular, with wires and pipes running across the walls. Gravity was still extreme. A thin human systems officer, Mina, scanned the panels quickly. Sparks jumped, and consoles were burning. Automatic control was useless. "This is worse than expected," she said. "We need manual power." Adam nodded. "Then we do it manually. Everyone ready?" The humans prepared. They would enter the core and reset gravity manually. It was dangerous. If the system exploded or if they failed, they might never leave the room. Nora went first. She crawled against gravity to reach the panel that controlled main power. Her muscles burned. Sweat stung her eyes. The air was thick and heavy, yet she moved carefully, slowly, making sure each hand and foot found a solid hold. Lucas followed with the injured aliens. They could not move on their own, so Lucas and 2 engineers lifted and dragged them along, fighting the pressure at every step. Inside the core room, the humans worked together. Mina opened panels. Adam and Nora read the control diagrams. Lucas supported the injured. Every movement required strength and focus. Tal and Rill watched from the observation deck. They had never seen such skill under pressure. Aliens around them whispered, fear mixed with disbelief. "Humans can do this," Tal muttered. Rill did not answer. He could not look away. The humans seemed unstoppable, even when every wall, every panel, every step was against them. Nora reached the main console. Her hands pressed buttons and switches. Sparks flew, wires hissed, and gravity still pressed down. But she found the right sequence. She called out to Adam. "Ready?" she asked. Adam nodded. "Do it." She pulled the main switch. Well. The lights flickered. Gravity trembled. Then, slowly, it began to ease. The pressure decreased in small, shaking steps. Aliens who had collapsed raised their heads. Breathing became easier. Metal creaked less. The chamber was not fully safe, but the worst was over. Tal's eyes widened. "They did it," he said quietly. Rill could only nod. The humans had not only survived, they had saved the aliens. Their strength, calm, and skill had turned a deadly test into a rescue. Adam signaled to his team, "Check the others. Make sure everyone is safe. The system is stable for now." Humans moved through the chamber again, helping any alien who still struggled. Lucas and engineers worked together to lift fallen ones. Nora checked for structural damage. Mina ensured that control systems were stable. Every human moved as if gravity was a small challenge, not a crushing force. Aliens who could speak whispered among themselves. "They are strong, stronger than we imagined."
Some who had laughed at humans before were now silent.
Others knelt, not fully understanding, but feeling the need to respect. Tal approached Adam after the crisis. "You are remarkable," he said. "Your species is not weak. We survive. That is all. We learn. That is why we can do what others cannot." Ireel, still pale, spoke with difficulty. "We underestimated humans. We did not know." Adam looked at him. "Now you know." Gravity returned to normal. Systems were stable. Injured aliens were taken to medics. Humans rested briefly, muscles still aching, sweat still covering their faces. The observation deck filled with whispers. The story of what had happened would travel quickly. A species that aliens thought weak had just shown endurance, skill, and courage under pressure unlike anything seen before. And the humans did not stop. They helped. They stayed calm. They moved steadily, not for glory, not for fear, but because it was what they were trained to do. For the aliens, the lesson was clear. Humans could not be judged by size or appearance. They had power, endurance, and courage that went far beyond expectations. Gravity, which had always been the test, was now a teacher, and humans had become the masters. And the story of that day, the day gravity almost destroyed the station, would be told across species for many years. how humans had faced impossible pressure and still stood strong, helping others while surviving, was a tale that changed opinions forever. The humans, still tired but steady, looked at each other. Adam nodded. "We have done what we could. Let's make sure everyone is safe." The aliens no longer laughed. They watched humans with something new in their eyes. Respect, fear, wonder. It was the first real lesson of the day, and yet, in the shadows of the station, alarms still whispered. Systems were damaged. Gravity had pushed the station to its limits. The humans had survived, but the challenge was not fully over. There was more to learn, more to endure. And the humans were ready. The station was quiet after the immediate danger passed. Gravity had returned to normal, but the damage was clear. Panels hung at odd angles. Wires sparked occasionally. The floor had deep cracks. Aliens who had been crushed were now resting under medical care, but their eyes still held fear and awe. Adam gathered his team in a small room near the control center. "We need to understand why this happened," he said. "If gravity can fail like this, the station could be destroyed again." Mina, the systems officer, examined the panels. Sparks still danced over a broken console. "The automatic system failed," she said. "It overloaded. The sensors could not handle the extreme gravity." Adam nodded. "Then we must go deeper. Manually check the core and repair it. Otherwise, this could happen again." Lucas, the medic, frowned.
"It is risky. The core chamber is smaller."
"Gravity could spike again. We might be trapped inside." Adam looked at the team. "We trained for extreme conditions. We know what gravity does to our bodies. We can handle it. Others cannot. If we do not act, more will suffer." The humans prepared. Each strapped a small pack for tools, emergency oxygen, and medical supplies. They checked harnesses and gloves, making sure every piece was tight. Nora, the pilot, went first. She crawled through the narrow maintenance tunnel leading to the core chamber. Her movements were slow, careful, precise. Gravity pressed down, but she adjusted, using her hands and feet to balance. Sweat ran down her face, but she did not stop. Adam followed with Mina. They moved together, keeping an eye on the tunnel's walls. Some panels were loose. Sparks fell from broken wires. The air was thick. Breathing required effort. Every step was a small fight against the station itself. Lucas and the two engineers stayed behind to assist any aliens who needed support. They carried small portable lifts and helped anyone who could not move. Even under normal gravity, the station was difficult. After the earlier spike, it was treacherous. Inside the core chamber, the humans found the source of the problem. The main gravity regulators were damaged. Cooling systems were blocked. Circuits had shorted. If left unchecked, a new spike could destroy the station completely. Adam studied the panel, mapping the circuits in his mind. He turned to Mina. "We can reset it manually, but we need precision. One wrong move and it could explode." Mina nodded, eyes wide. "I have never done this, but I can follow your instructions." They began work. Every movement required balance. Gravity was heavy, pressing down like invisible hands. Sparks flew and wires hissed. Panels shook as if alive. Each touch could trigger another surge. Yet the humans worked steadily, calmly. They spoke in short, simple words. Instructions, corrections, gun, encouragement. Time passed slowly. Each second felt like minutes. Sweat covered their faces, muscles ached, their lungs burned. Yet they moved forward, above, Tal and Rial watched. The observation deck had been repaired enough for them to see. They could not believe their eyes. The humans were moving through a danger that would have killed many alien soldiers. Each step, each adjustment, each touch of a wire showed discipline and endurance far beyond what they expected. Rial whispered almost to himself, "They are not just surviving. They are controlling it. They are masters of gravity." Tal did not answer. He could only stare. The fear of earlier had turned into a new emotion. Respect. Brett. Deep and quiet. The humans were not fragile. They were prepared. They were precise. They were fearless in the face of forces that the aliens had never endured. Back in the chamber, Adam reached the main regulator. It was massive, covered with sparks, wires, and panels that bent under pressure. Gravity pushed him down, muscles screaming, but he adjusted his stance. He looked at Mina. "Are you ready?" She nodded. Yes. Together, they began the reset. Each wire had to be moved carefully. Each circuit checked. Each switch turned with exact force. One mistake and gravity could spike again, stronger than before. Sparks flew. Heat rose. Panels groaned. Nora assisted, moving broken components aside. She kept an eye on the structural damage. If a wall gave way, all could die. She adjusted her weight, using her legs and arms to balance in the heavy gravity. Hours passed, though it felt like days. The humans did not stop. Every time a warning light flickered, they recalculated, moved with precision, checked each connection. Their endurance was tested again and again. The physical strain would have defeated many alien soldiers, but they did not fall. They did not complain. They did not panic. Finally, Adam saw the last connection. He glanced at Mina, ready for the final sequence. She swallowed hard. Yes. Adam nodded. He pressed a series of switches. Sparks flew. A low hum filled the chamber. Lights flickered, then steadied. Gravity sensors returned to normal readings. Panels stopped sparking. The worst was over. The regulators were stable. Mina let out a long breath. It worked. Adam smiled slightly. Yes, it worked. The humans stood, muscles aching, faces covered with sweat and grime. They had done what aliens had believed impossible. They had faced gravity that could crush anyone, controlled dangerous systems, and survived without error. Tal and Rial came into the observation deck. Tal's voice was quiet, almost reverent. You saved the station. You controlled gravity itself." Adam shook his head. "We survived and helped others. That is all. Gravity teaches you endurance, patience, and care. That is what we learned." Rial could not speak. He could only nod, watching humans calmly walking through danger, while aliens had been crushed under the same force. The aliens began to understand something important. Humans were not weak. Their bodies were conditioned by Earth's gravity. Their minds were calm under stress. Their courage was steady. And their sense of responsibility to help others in danger was unmatched. The story of the humans' actions would spread through the station and beyond. Aliens who had mocked humans now whispered about their strength. Aliens who had doubted their endurance now wanted to learn from them. Adam and his team helped check the station for remaining damage. They moved carefully, always aware of weak structures. Lucas assisted the injured. Nora and engineers reinforced walls. Mina made sure the gravity controls were stable. Their teamwork showed that humans thrived not only because of strength, but because of planning, discipline, and cooperation. By the time they returned to a safer area, the station had begun to recover. Aliens who had collapsed or been injured were stabilized. Systems were checked. Gravity sensors reported normal levels. Humans looked at each other and nodded. They had survived another challenge, stronger and more experienced. Tal and Reel approached Adam privately. "You are remarkable," Tal said. "I never understood humans until today. You do not fear gravity. You do not panic. You adapt. You endure." Adam nodded. "We survive because we must. We help because we can. That is all." Rill added softly, "We underestimated humans. We cannot ignore you now. You are not weak." Adam simply looked at the station. The danger had passed, but the lessons remained. Humans had survived a challenge that many species could not. They had controlled gravity. They had saved others, and they had shown without words that endurance, discipline, and courage were forces that no gravity could break. In the shadows of the station, some systems still flickered. The station had survived, but it had been pushed to its limits. Humans had adapted. Aliens had learned. And the story was far from over. The real lesson was just beginning. Humans were no longer the species to underestimate. The station was slowly returning to normal. Gravity was stable, light shone steadily, and alarms had stopped. Yet the memory of what had happened lingered. Aliens whispered among themselves, watching the humans with something new in their eyes: respect, awe, fear. Adam and his team moved carefully through the station, checking every area. Some corridors had minor cracks. Emergency lights flickered in some rooms. Gravity sensors reported stable levels, but the strain on the structure was clear. Humans, despite exhaustion, helped wherever they could. Lucas, the medic, moved from injured alien to injured alien, checking wounds and offering words of comfort. He spoke slowly, clearly, in words the aliens could understand. Even those who could not speak his language understood the care in his actions. Nora and the engineers reinforced weak areas. Metal beams were lifted and secured. Broken panels were patched. The station was safer because humans had been there. Every movement they made, every action they took, demonstrated calm strength under pressure. Tal, the tall officer, gathered other leaders in a small room. They debated in low voices. Many were ashamed. They had underestimated humans. They had thought humans weak. They had believed that gravity would crush them. Instead, humans had survived, saved others, and restored the station's systems. Reel, still recovering from the previous event, spoke quietly. "They are not just survivors. They are teachers. We must study them." Tal nodded. "We will." Tal nodded. "Humans have earned our respect." Meanwhile, Adam's team reached the main control center. He looked at his team and spoke quietly. "We have done what we can here. Let's make sure all aliens are safe and the station can continue its work. After that, we rest, but we must remain aware. There may be more challenges." The humans moved through the corridors, assisting wherever needed. They helped alien engineers repair machinery. They guided weaker species to safer areas. They did not complain, even though their muscles ached and their lungs burned from the earlier gravity spikes. Every step, every action was precise and careful. Aliens watched and learned. Some took notes. Some observed quietly, trying to understand how humans could endure such pressure. Others whispered about what they had seen. The story of humans moving through extreme gravity, helping aliens, and repairing critical systems spread quickly through the station. Adam paused at a junction. He saw a group of aliens arguing about how to handle gravity in future training. He approached them calmly. "Your technology is strong," he said. "But pressure is not just about machines. It is about patience, endurance, and cooperation. Do not forget that." The aliens looked at him, surprised by his words. They had expected humans to be silent, submissive, or weak. Instead, they spoke clearly, calmly, and wisely. Respect grew with each word. In another part of the station, Lucas was helping a small alien with fragile limbs. The alien trembled under the fear of gravity spikes. Lucas knelt, spoke slowly, and adjusted the alien's harness. He lifted it gently, carrying it to a safer area. The alien did not understand his language, but it understood care. The alien's fear turned into trust. Nora moved heavy panels in another corridor. She adjusted the weight carefully, making sure it did not fall. Each movement required planning and effort, but she did it with calm precision. Aliens stopped to watch. Some tried to imitate her, but they lacked her endurance and focus. They realized that human strength was not just physical, it was mental. Mina checked systems again. Sparks still flickered in damaged consoles, but she repaired what she could. She called out instructions to Adam and others, guiding them through repairs. Each instruction was clear, simple, and effective. Aliens who observed began to see patterns in human logic and organization that they had never noticed before. Tal approached Adam after some time. "We have watched you for hours," he said. "Your species is unlike any we expected. You are calm, precise, and strong. You have shown us that endurance is not only physical, but also mental. We are honored to have you here." Adam shook his head slightly. "We do not seek honor. We seek to survive and to help others when we can." That is all. Rill, still pale from earlier, spoke quietly. "We underestimated you. We mocked you. We feared you would fail. We were wrong. You have taught us a lesson in respect and endurance." Across the station, whispers spread. Aliens who had once mocked humans now spoke cautiously, unsure how to react. Respect had replaced fear, and awe had replaced arrogance. Humans had done something no alien species had done before. They had faced impossible gravity, saved others, and restored systems with calm precision. Adam gathered his team once more. "We have helped where we can. The station will continue to recover. But remember this: strength is not just size, speed, or technology. It is patience, endurance, and helping others. Gravity teaches those who listen." The humans moved through the station one final time before resting. Aliens watched silently, realizing that the lesson was clear. Humans had survived what others thought impossible. They had earned respect not through force or weaponry, but through endurance, discipline, and care. As the humans finally rested in a small, safe area, the station began to return to normal. Gravity was steady. Systems were operational. Injured aliens were stable. And the story of humans facing extreme conditions, helping others, and controlling the station spread to every corner. Even as the station stabilized, a quiet warning remained. Systems were still fragile in some areas. The challenge had tested the station and its inhabitants, but the humans had shown what could be done. They had faced impossible pressure and survived. They had earned the respect of the galaxy, and the galaxy would never forget the lesson. Humans, shaped by gravity, endurance, and care, were a species not to underestimate. They had survived the impossible and taught others that true strength is measured not by power alone, but by courage, patience, and the will to help others in times of crisis. The station was calm but still carried the memory of recent danger. Gravity had returned to normal. Systems were functioning, though some areas needed further repair. Aliens moved quietly, their eyes often turning to the humans who had saved the station from disaster. Respect and awe were clear in every glance. Adam and his team prepared for one final inspection. They walked slowly through corridors, checking for any remaining damage. Broken panels were secured. Wires were patched. Emergency lights were replaced. The humans moved with precision, each step measured and careful. Their muscles still ached from the previous challenges, but their faces were calm and determined. Lucas tended to the last of the injured aliens. One small, fragile creature with pale skin had been terrified by the gravity spikes. Lucas lifted it gently, adjusting its harness and supporting its weak limbs. The alien looked up at him with wide eyes. No words needed to understand the care and calm in his actions. Nora and the engineers reinforced the remaining weak points in the station. They lifted heavy beams and secured loose panels. Each motion required effort against gravity that had once threatened to crush them. Now it felt easier, but they still moved with careful attention. Aliens watched, some taking notes, some observing silently, trying to understand the strength and endurance of humans. Mina monitored the gravity controls. The sensors showed stability, but she checked each one, confirming that no part of the system would fail again. She explained each step to Adam, ensuring that every precaution was taken. The humans had learned not only to survive, but to anticipate problems and prevent disaster. Tal and Riel approached the humans. Tal's voice was quiet but firm. "You have taught us more than any lesson we could give. Your species is strong in ways we never expected. You endure, you adapt, and you help others. That is power beyond measure."
Adam shook his head.
"We do what we must. We help because we can. Strength is not measured by fear or weapons. It is measured by endurance, patience, and the ability to protect others." Rill, still recovering, added softly, "We were wrong to underestimate you. The galaxy must learn to respect humans. Not fear, but respect. Your actions have proven that strength comes in many forms." The humans continued their inspection. They moved through every section, ensuring all systems were stable and safe. Gravity controls, structural supports, and emergency systems were checked. Aliens followed, observing quietly, learning from every motion and decision. In one corridor, Adam stopped and looked at a group of young alien trainees. They were timid, unsure how to move under gravity. He knelt and spoke simply. "Gravity teaches patience. Do not rush. Use your strength wisely. Watch, listen, and learn." The trainees nodded, understanding more in action than in words. Adam's calm presence and steady movements taught them a lesson beyond training manuals. Elsewhere, Lucas helped a small alien climb a set of stairs. The alien struggled under its own weight. Lucas did not rush. He supported it step by step, giving guidance and encouragement. The alien learned to trust him and began to move with confidence. Nora and the engineers completed reinforcement of a critical section near the station core. Beams were heavy, panels unstable, yet they lifted, pushed, and secured each piece with care. Their endurance impressed even the strongest alien engineers. The aliens had believed strength came from size or technology. Now they saw that calm skill, determination, and teamwork could overcome almost any obstacle. Mina finished her final checks of the gravity systems. Every sensor reported normal readings. Every regulator functioned. She turned to Adam. "The station is safe. Gravity is stable. No further spikes should occur." Adam nodded. "Good. Then we can rest. But the lesson must continue. Other species must learn what we have demonstrated. Respect comes from understanding, not fear." Word of the humans' actions spread quickly through the station. Aliens discussed in low voices, sharing what they had witnessed. A species that had been underestimated, mocked, and doubted had shown endurance, intelligence, and courage beyond measure. The lesson of humans facing impossible gravity, saving others, and restoring systems became a story that every species in the station would remember. Tal approached Adam once more. "Your species will not be forgotten. You have shown us the true meaning of strength. We will tell others, and we will train differently because of you. The galaxy must respect humans." Adam shook his head. "We do not seek recognition. We survive, we help, and we learn. That is all. Respect comes naturally when others see the truth." The humans moved to a safe area and rested briefly. Their bodies ached, lungs burned, muscles sore, yet their faces were calm, eyes steady. They had faced impossible conditions, survived, helped others, and taught a lesson that no alien could forget. Their endurance, courage, and discipline had changed the perception of humans across the station and beyond. Aliens who had once mocked humans now whispered, their voices filled with awe. Some bowed, some simply nodded. They had learned something vital. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. Humans endured. Humans adapted. Humans helped. And in that, they were powerful beyond imagination. As the station fully recovered, Adam and his team prepared to leave. They had completed their mission. Systems were stable. Injured aliens were cared for. The lesson of endurance and respect had been taught. Tal approached one last time. "Remember this day. Humans have taught us that strength is not just power or weapons. It is endurance, calmness, and care. We will honor that lesson." Adam nodded. "Then you have learned." That is enough. The humans departed the station, leaving behind a story that would be told for generations. A story of courage under impossible gravity, of endurance and care, of strength beyond size or weapons. A story of humans teaching aliens the value of respect through action, not words. And the galaxy remembered. The species that had been underestimated, mocked, and doubted became known for endurance, wisdom, and quiet power. Humans had survived the impossible. Humans had helped others. Humans had taught respect. And in that, they became a force the galaxy would never underestimate again.